What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel. What's up YouTube? The Fatal Fury roster is packed with fan favorites and fresh new faces, but there's one character in particular I couldn't wait to get my hands on. The Muay Thai king himself, Joe Higashi. Now I've been a Joe fan for years, ever since Fatal Fury 1, right? City of the Wolves brings some serious changes to Joe's formula with the new rev system in place, and I was definitely interested in knowing how would Joe actually play in City of the Wolves, right? So in this video, I'm gonna be breaking down my first impressions of Joe. We'll be looking at his new look, hello, new glasses, his returning and brand new moves, and how he feels to play in this new iteration of Fatal Fury. Before we get started, I want to give a big thanks to SNK for allowing me early access to bring you this impression first and foremost, you guys. Now, the real question is Joe the same explosive rushdown character we know and love, or has he evolved into something entirely new? Let's jump in and find out. So first things first, let's talk about the glow up. I mean, look at him. SNK truly knocked it out of the park with Joe's new design. He still has that unmistakable Joe Higashi vibe, but the details are a bit more incredible than before. I mean, can we talk about the glasses? I'm just saying. They added this fantastic touch of intellectual swagger without losing any of his intensity. The animations are fluid, expressive, and you can really feel the impact behind all of Joe's moves. SNK's attention to detail here is just chef's kiss. I gotta give it to him. Alright, that's enough of admiring the aesthetics. Let's get into how he plays, right? My first impression when I started to move around with Joe was just how crispy and responsive he feels with his just general movement. City of the Wolves has a notably faster pace, and Joe fits right into it. His walk speed is pretty solid, and in this version of Fatal Fury, Joe does not run. Joe is actually a dash character. His dash feels incredibly quick, allowing you to close distances and create space efficiently with his general movement. So big ups there, they did a great job here. So essentially his lights are really good for quick pokes and the general thing you'd see in City of the Wolves, so he's pretty solid there. While he's got his nice quick jabs and all that, his heavy normals are pretty beefy. I'm actually a big fan of his new standing C, so it seems like a really good poke. Just kind of use in neutral, not to mention use as a counter poke as well. Not to mention his far D also being something that's pretty great as well. So kind of what I would expect from Joe. Now, the heavies clearly are great for counter poking and getting those big counter hits into big damage for wild punishes. So essentially, if you've played Joe before, you'll feel right at home with his basics. He's still that pure rushdown character, but with a twist of added precision with his movement, since he's not a run character anymore. Now we're going to get into his special moves and new moves. Clearly, Joe has a lot of his old kit, but he's got some new things here. So he's got his Hurricane Upper, his classic fireball that you know and love. It's still a fireball. He's got his Tiger Kick, the quintessential anti-air, and his combo ender. It feels powerful, reliable, and the animation has just that little extra, oomph to it, which is great. It's perfect for juggling opponents with the heavy version as well, because heavy DP break into combo, slash kick. This is his standard horizontal pressure tool. Does help him get you to the corner, so it aids in his corner carry, which is extremely nice for Joe because I do feel that's one of his strengths, his ability to corner you, but we'll get more into that later. And of course, he's got his Bakuretskin or his machine gun punch. And man, is this move still pretty amazing. It's exactly what you want for quick burst damage and extending his combos. And not to mention, it's pretty solid in pressure as well. And the follow-ups to the Bakuretskin punch are really good and do lead into more damage, especially with the rev version. He's looking pretty solid here in this regard as well. Then he's got his golden Sumaki, or his old hop kick that is similar to Preacher. It avoids lows and gets him to start pressure against his opponents. So pretty solid tool overall. But this thing right here, what I'm about to get into, this is a new move for Joe. Joe has a new stance. It's called Fearless Man. Joe's new stance allows him a new way to play up close during pressure. Fearless allows for several follow-ups, and those follow-ups include an overhead, a low, a mid, and in my opinion, the absolute best option they could have ever given Joe is a command grab. Now, I personally think this is a great change of pace for Joe, as it really allows for more unique gameplay. He's no longer just a standard fireball and uppercut character. Now he can actually mix you up, right? The stance also has armor attached to it, which makes it a really strong tool in a lot of cases when using Just Defend and JD cancels and Hyper Defend cancels. Now, before you go on thinking this stance sounds OP, the stance does lose to low attacks, so it does have counterplay. No need to worry there. Trust, it's fine. But beyond the returning moves and his new stance, Fearless, there are some subtle tweaks and new possibilities for Joe that I'm still exploring. I'm really a big fan of this current new playstyle for Joe. He definitely feels way more unique now. Now, of course, we gotta get into the rev system. You guys already know that. We gotta talk about that. That's the next thing I wanna get into, right? So his rev blow, I think, is really solid on the ground. It does have nice travel distance. His air rev blow, however, that move, I think that's kind of one of the meat and potatoes of this character, mainly because his combos seem more reliant on that move, the air rev blow, and it adds great corner carry and allows you to pretty much corner your opponent in like pretty much from mid-screen to corner. You could definitely corner them with like one good touch into your rev blow ender, and like it's party time, right? Now, his rev art cancels and things of that nature, so you know, doing rev art into rev cancel to another rev move, this is something I've kind of been exploring and experimenting more. Hurricane upper, his fireball seems to be really good for setting up safe pressure if you're incorrect with one of his other moves. So say you decide to go for Fearless and you miss, you know, one of your follow-ups, be it the overhead or the low, you can still cancel into Hurricane upper, make yourself safe, and kind of try to keep your pressure going, or maybe just stop from that point. Being able to cancel into Fearless stance is also pretty unique, because I think it offers a little bit more for you whenever you're playing against your opponents, since the stance does have armor attached to it. So you'll be able to really mess people up on defense if you have the reads, right? So that's kind of where I'm still messing around once again, experimenting, trying to understand how to utilize these things, because quite frankly, I think this is kind of where Joe shines, right? Where you can utilize Fearless and be able to like do a lot more with the rev system. Not to mention rev, you know, Fearless stance into command grab does lead into, you know, combo damage, which is nice. One of the few things I will mention about Joe regarding combos, he does have a side switch move, which is the hop kick special. It is good and it is part of getting his bigger damage, but you do sacrifice a corner carry similar to that of Ken. So to kind of round it out here with the rev system, it essentially amplifies Joe's game plan, right? And rather his new game plan. You know, it's clearly rewarding more offensive play and quick decision making, which is exactly what it feels like this new iteration of Joe is all about. He really feels like a character that can maximize the potential of the new mechanics, so I'm very interested in seeing his potential as time goes by. So now that you heard all this, I got you. You're probably wondering, all right, Kensou, talk to me. What's the early verdict, right? I believe SNK has managed to evolve Joe while staying true to his core identity and his kit. He's still that high octane in your face Muay Thai fighter, right? That has the ability to zone and play solid, but now he's got a fresh coat of paint and some incredibly new engaging mechanics since he's in City of the Wolves and not KOF anymore that just amplify this new playstyle. So I think it's really cool. The new design is fantastic. His movement feels really great, and he just feels good to play. You know, I'm just interested in seeing how he's gonna interact with the rev system with the rest of the roster and see what makes him shine. So essentially, if you loved Joe before, you're gonna love him even more in City of the Wolves. And if you're new to the series and don't know much about Joe, he's gonna be an excellent character to pick up. I think he's got enough accessibility to learn with a very high skill ceiling with the way his like combos and pressures work with the new rev system. Alright, you guys, we're coming up to the end of the video here. Avengers Endgame. I'm seriously impressed and I cannot wait to see what the future holds for Joe on full release. Big ups to SNK once again for allowing me early access to try out Joe. Let me know how you guys are feeling about Joe in the comments below. Talk to me. Are you looking forward to playing Joe yourself? And are there any other characters you might be looking forward to seeing in City of the Wolves? Talk to me. Let me know in the comments below. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care. Peace.